Hi everyone, hope you're well. This beautiful day. We're in Parashat Bahar, still in the book of Leviticus. And of course we're still preoccupied with the Mishkan. But in this parasha, the Torah continues to remind us that there's some sort of deep connection between Shabbat and the Mishkan. Which seems a little bit strange because the Mishkan is all about building and Shabbat is really about resting. But God seems to love them equally. And there seems to be some sort of connection between them. You know, keep my Sabbaths and also venerate my sanctuary. So let's think about that for a minute. I think the great connection is we have this beautiful world that is created for us, but then the world that we actually live in is not just filled with beauty, like the Grand Canyon, but it's also filled with humans and lots of inequality, lots of poverty, lots of suffering. Life is hard. People get sick. We're all mortal. So it's hard in all kinds of ways. It's unequal in all kinds of ways. It's cruel in many ways. There's a lot of goodness, but there's also a lot of cruelty. So the question is, what do you do emotionally, existentially, when you grapple with how hard life is and how unfair it is in many ways, and how much pain there is in it? You have a couple of choices. You could do the AI thing and try to construct an alternative reality that is really fake, or you can say, on the one hand, I want to, build something. I want to try to close the gap. In other words, I want to try to make it more holy. I want to try to make it better. And that involves work. And we spend a lot of time, doing that. But I think the other thing is that part of the pain of living in an unredeemed world is to feel that God is absent. We don't really know where God is. I think we all ask that question. Somebody gets sick, where's God? There's an injustice, where's God? And I think that, how do we hold on to a dream of the kind of perfection that we see in creation, the creation story? And one way to do that is to build a Mishkan, which is this kind of perfect world where everything is ordered. But of course, we don't live in the Mishkan. We live in our world, our heads, our bodies. And I think Shabbat is the other answer to that question of, how do you deal with living in such a complicated, unredeemed world? Shabbat is the seventh day. Shabbat is the counterpoint to the 6 days of work that says on this one day you have everything you need. The rich person puts away their wallet, they stop buying stuff. The poor person who doesn't have a big fat wallet, they also don't buy stuff, meaning that they're the same. No, everyone has everything they need. That is really the premise of Shabbat. And I think that it goes so far that in this parasha says that even the slave rests on Shabbat. In other words, there is no work because you don't need to do anything because you have everything that you need. And so I think that is really what keeps us going, and that has been the secret sauce of Judaism all of these thousands of years. Achad Ha'am, a great Zionist thinker, wrote more than the Jewish people kept the Sabbath kept the Jewish people. So it is a vision of how sweet and decent life can be. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.